Hello everybody, welcome to another week in the life of Phil's V10 M3 project. You're stuck with me again this week because I'm the only one here. So at the end of the last episode you saw that I'd finished painting the black on the engine bay. We've got the car back on the ramp now in its natural habitat. So today's job is get our head around the, or get my head even, around the new oil pump modifications and get the vanos pump and the oil pump realigned in the engine, because little did we know when we just took it apart, there's actually a procedure, obviously, because overcomplicated nonsense, to line the thing back up. Got BMW TIS fired up on the computer, thanks to, I think it was Ben at Hack Engineering that pointed out instantly that we were about to mull or something. So dial gauges, engineering tools, just here we go. Watch this, I'll get it done as best I can. Right, the fat pig's on its back at the moment. Just got to whip the sump off one more time. One-handed. Revealing its guts once more. So yeah, basically, if I just put this down, there's a backlash setting that we have to set on this gear here, as well as lining this pump up because it all slides about, you know, obviously that's how it works. Then we have to put the new modified oil pump in and check the tension on the chain. So first time I've done this, but you know, instructions are quite detailed, and you know, what's the worst that can happen? Wish me luck, I'm going in. That's the vanos pump out of the engine. Since I wasn't paying that much attention when we took this apart, because you know, all this stuff was going in the bin at that point, I'm just getting a little bit of a refresher on the computer of how the chain guides attach and the chain slips on. So give me a minute. Got my pump now built up as in the picture. Just remembered we need to refit this oil fitting, which bolts through the bottom of the top half of the sump. So I'm going to do that first before I slip the pump back in, just so I've got plenty of room. It's taken me a little bit longer than I'd hoped, because you know, when we took it apart all the bolts just went in this box, so I'm having to go on real OEM and measure all the bolts to find the right ones. But you know, bit of a pain, but I guess I've got to do it. So yeah, I'll get this on and we'll get the pump back in the hole. Alright, that's the pump loosely mounted in the engine. As you can see, there's movement. The bolt holes are slotted, basically so we can set backlash on this gear here onto the crank. So I've got to get a bit technical, set up the dial indicator, and I'm looking for between 0.06mm and 0.08mm of backlash. So yeah, give me a minute, I'll set the tooling up and we'll see how we get on with this. Right, finally I've got the gauge mounted to the block. Took a bit of time to adapt the thing, seeing as we don't have the actual BMW tool, but just testing it as I put it in, turns out we've got about 0.1 of a mil, and we need between 0.06 and 0.08, so I need to close the backlash up a tiny little bit and then we should be good to go. So I need to put the camera down, give me a minute and I'll set this nicely. Right then, so a little bit of fiddling later. I've got it to 0.06, just over 0.06, so I'm going to leave it there because it's quite a delicate adjustment to make without the actual BMW tool. So I've got them all slightly nipped up. I just need to check the torque settings for each of the bolts, and we're going to call that done. Right, finally got the thing torqued up. 10 Newton meters, if anyone's wondering, is the torque onto the base, and we are at 0.06 and a half, 0.07. So basically perfect. So yeah, I'm going to call that definitely done now. I'm not going to fight that anymore. Time to move on to putting our modified oil pump together and getting that and the chain tension set. Okay, on to this the engine oil pump now. I'll go through it in more detail when I'm putting the thing together, but because of the modifications that we made and the clearance that we need a countersunk bolt to fit in this corner. We are going to go and enlist the help of Craig and get him to put a taper on the back of the original bolt in the hope that that'll work, because yeah, we can't exactly just nip out and get one at the moment. So let's see if this works. Hopefully it will, and we can carry on. We haven't bothered you much for a couple of weeks, have we? We haven't.
Really?
Well, I haven't.
Wasn't it 8 o'clock building an engine for you last night?
Yeah, but that was my engine.
Oh,
not
okay.
on this. This is a different project.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. No, not for a bit then.
But, you know, doing things I can actually do. Paint things.
Not my good strong point.
No.
So, to try this, see if I can get a centre in just to support it. Yeah. Right.
That's the spirit. Right, let's try it in there.
Hang on, I'm going to flatten the head off a little bit as well.
Because as we know on this thing,
every half
a mil
count.
Yeah, exactly.
At least it's a torque, so we don't, you know. We should do it for like. That's over.
Done there.
Well, it's just broke the tip, so.
Oh. Well, thanks for sacrificing your tool.
Yeah. You might just need to tap the
Right.
thing instead, but that should.
That's alright, doesn't it? Easy as that. Thank you very much. Saved the day. I'll get on with that this thing. Well, as we can see, look what's outside. Little teaser there if you're following the build. But yeah, anyway, back into our workshop. Right then, so next on my list is to reassemble this oil pump, which we've modified the back plate on. I'll run through a little bit of what we've done. To gain clearance basically for the steering rack, in case you haven't seen the video, but we went through it in quite a lot of detail at the time. We spent quite a long time getting the thing to fit, but anyway, this is a factory cover. As you can see, it has this extended piece out here. It's basically a tube for, I guess that's a stopper and a spring to sit in. Now on our one, to gain clearance, we've basically taken that off. So now to compensate for what's inside, we've had a spring made, which Phil went through a lot of time measuring, and we had it worked out, and we've had these manufactured by a local company to be exactly the same spring rate at this length. This piece has been shortened the same amount, which is I think 33 millimeters is the measurement that we've gone for. So now that sits in there like that, hopefully giving us the correct spring pressure and movement as that one did in there. But you know, I guess there's one way to find out, and that's put the thing together and crank it up for some oil pressure. So I'm going to put this together and then we'll get it put in the engine and get the chain tension right. Well, that's the pump built now at least, so moving on. Since, as I said many times, all this was going in the bin when we removed it, I destroyed the 3 dowels that line this pump up, so we've managed to get a set of new ones through the post, and I'm going to install those and we will get on with putting that pump in and setting the chain tension, which I still have to read the instructions more and get my head around, but how hard can it be compared to that? Just going over the instructions a few more times on this thing. Pretty sure I've got my head around it now. We mount the pump, we fit the chain, we torque the sprocket up, and then all I have to do is check basically that the chain's not too slack using verniers. Pump's now installed. Just got to give this thread a clean on there and the nut, and it's required to be Loctited with some Loctite 648, and then on our version, because we have a serrated gear on our oil pump, 25 Newton meters is the torque, so Loctite and 25 Newton meters, and that's going to be it. So that's the sprocket and everything back in line. Just going to apply the Loctite to everything it seems, but I'll clean that up. Weird one. Green high strength apparently, so yeah, Loctite 648 is what you want if you're going to do this job. Whiz the nut on, 25 Newton meters, and the job is done. Right, moving on to the final piece of this overcomplicated puzzle. I just need to check the wear basically on the chain and the tensioner rails. So it gives you a measurement between 72.5mm and 80mm from this point here. From this point here, as far as I can tell, down to the bottom rail. Hopefully I'm doing this right. As I say, I've never done this before, and you know, if you're following this as an instruction manual, maybe check with someone that knows what they're doing, but as far as I understand it, that's the measurement, so I'm going to take that measurement now and hope it's within spec and call this job completed, get the sump back on, and yeah, that's taken quite a lot longer than I anticipated, but hopefully I've done it right. Well, we get a measurement of 79.93, so we are just within spec, luckily, because I don't really know how you adjust it, and probably means starting again, so it is perfect. Let's put the sump on. Well, that'd take me way longer than I'd hoped, and probably way longer than it should have, but never done it before, so you know, it's a case of just following instructions as best I can. Hopefully we've got oil pressure now. Our factory pigger is sealed up, hopefully oil tight apart from the 2 scavenge pumps on each side of the sump. My next task is completely unrelated to this, so we might call this episode here. I guess all that's left to say is thanks for watching. Follow the company at Driftworks. You can see some sneak peeks of what Phil's up to on Instagram, Phil Morrison DW. And just in case this was boring, we can just look at some shiny paint for a bit, because I'm quite happy with how that came out. So see you next time.
At Driftworks, we've helped over 50,000 happy customers since 2004. Our huge online parts store is simple to use, with superb shipping rates to anywhere in the world, and finance options available for UK customers. We live and breathe wheel fitment, so if you have any questions about your own car or any of our products before placing an order, please drop us an email at shop@driftworks.com or give us a call. Thanks for watching.